Welcome to The Rest Between Sets, a podcast about health, wellness, and the real lives behind the workouts. I'm Rebecca, a physical therapist and a strength coach who has had some really good conversations with athletes while they're resting between their sets. I've gotten some really good life advice, and so every week I sit down with members of our gym and our community to talk about what it really takes to be strong in the gym and in life. Today's guest is one of my very best friends, Christina Miyares. She's a neurophysical therapist, and she helps individuals who are living with stroke, spinal cord, or traumatic brain injury. She helps them to work out and stay fit and healthy and strong. Hey, Christina, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Hey, Rebecca. Thanks so much for having me on.
Did you have fun at Erin's baby shower just now?
Oh, yeah. It was so much fun.
Yeah. She's due in October, and we're really excited for her.
Absolutely.
So Christina is a very long time friend of mine. We used to be friends in PT school back what feels like forever ago.
Yeah.
Back at MUSC. And can you just talk a little bit about what you do now? Because you got an awesome job.
Yeah. So, like Rebecca said, we went to PT school together, graduated in 21. I then did a neuro residency, which lasted a year. And then I moved back to Charleston, where I helped open up a neuro gym. So it's called Next Wellness Center. And it's for individuals with neurologic deficits. So think stroke, spinal cord, traumatic brain injury, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis. Those are some of the diagnoses that I see. And I pretty much just run a gym for them. So there's a workout of a day, and then I adapt it and scale it based off of who comes into the gym.
That's really, really cool. So are the workouts kind of like CrossFit-y? What kind of workouts are they generally? Do they use machines, free weights?
Yeah, so
cardio?
The idea behind it is there's a strength portion to it. So each Monday through Friday, there's one workout program, and then from week to week, it's kept pretty consistent. But we're either increasing the number of reps someone's doing or trying to increase the weight just to work on progressive overload that way. But Mondays tend to be working on squats, and for this population it might be a barbell squat, or I do a lot of box squats with people. If they're in a wheelchair and they can't do a squat, then it's kind of working on transfers. So what does that look like? Is it a wheelchair push-up? Are they doing diffs off of a matador? So thinking things like that.
So when you say transfer, for people that don't know, can you explain what you mean by that?
Yeah, so transfers for people, it's kind of moving from one position to another, whether they're in their bed and they need to move over to their wheelchair, or thinking about going from a wheelchair into a car, those types of things, moving from a different seated position.
So what do you do if you have people in a class that are have completely different injuries? Maybe one person has an upper body problem, one person has a lower body problem. How are you
So it's not really a class that we do. It's just an open gym, and there's just a workout written up on the board, and they can come in and do that whenever they want during the open hours.
Okay.
And so if there's several people in there working out at the same time that they need a little bit of attention from me, then they just kind of call me out whenever they need help setting up a piece of equipment, or if they need me to demo an exercise for them, doing things like that.
That's really, really cool. And what do you charge for those people? What's the membership?
So it's free.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So the gym is run through MUSC, which is the medical university here. And it is dedicated research space. So although my day-to-day running the gym, I'm not really using my license as a physical therapist. I am the physical therapist on the research studies that we run out of the gym space. So we have grant money coming through that helps fund the space, which allows us to then offer just the open membership to the public for free.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys get donations and stuff too?
Yep. Yeah. So it's the other route is donations as well, if people feel they want to donate to us.
That's awesome. So what kinds of research are you looking at right now?
So we have 2 studies running out of the gym at the moment. One is a weight loss study post-stroke, and then another one is looking at depression post-stroke. So the depression one, there's a couple different parts to it. There's just a treadmill training portion to it. There's a RTMS portion to it, which both of those are treatments for depression. And then there's a combo group that would get both of those. So
I remember the RTMS. I'm pretty sure I helped with Dr. Bowden's research on that back during school.
Yeah.
So that's like a kind of like they zap parts of your brain, right?
Yeah. So it's transmagnetic stimulation.
Very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what about the weight loss one? What are you guys looking at for that?
With the weight loss one, we're working with the weight management center downtown as well. So some people are just getting like the diet portion of it. Some people are just getting the exercise portion, and then there's the combo group as well.
Very cool.
But both of those are in the stroke population.
Okay. Is stroke maybe the most common diagnosis that you're seeing, or?
Yeah, I would say individuals who have had strokes is the most common that I see, but I also see a lot of spinal cord injuries as well.
Okay. And those are both pretty tough to treat because like both diagnoses have so many, like such a wide range of effects. So I mean, with the stroke, you're probably seeing all kinds of different things from people, right?
Right, yeah. So with a stroke, it kind of depends on what part of the brain was affected as to like what you're going to see. So there are some individuals who it's just like half their body is affected and they're like weaker on that side. And then you have some individuals who it's more of just like their speech is affected. So you kind of look at them and are not sure exactly what their deficit is. And then it's more like they have a more difficult time like with their conversation. And then some other people like bounce is their biggest issue. And they're just like very ataxic and kind of like all over the place when they're walking. So
you guys have a harness?
Yeah, we have a harness system set up in the gym as well. And it goes like right down the middle of the gym. So if people like want to work on their bounce, I can put them in the harness, and then that kind of takes away the fear of them actually falling.
Yeah.
Which allows us to like push a little bit harder when it comes to bounce, because if they do lose their bounce, and they're able to take a couple steps to regain it without the fear of like they're going to hit the ground.
Really cool.
So
let me ask you this question. So how long post-stroke are people waiting before they come and start working out? Like, are they going through like inpatient rehab and then like maybe outpatient rehab and then come to see you, or like what's like the process of a typical stroke, I guess?
Yeah, so I will say, like, I think the gym plays an important role in just the healthcare field in general, because you think about it, like, right when a stroke happens, the person is, like, in acute care in the hospital. They typically do go to inpatient rehab, where they spend a good amount of time there, and then they're usually discharged to, like, outpatient therapy. But the problem with, like, outpatient therapy is usually it has to be based off of insurance, and eventually insurance runs out. So then these individuals, they're sent home with, like, a home exercise program where they can, you know, do sit-to-stands from home. They are given, you know, different, like, bands they can work on to
all the classic stuff
to try to, like, improve strength. But it comes to a point where they, like, need to go back into therapy to get, like, a tune-up. So the idea behind this gym was, why don't we create a space? Like, you walk in it and it looks like a typical gym, which was, like, the whole idea about it. I will say, like, the floor plan is probably a little bit more open, just so it can allow, you know, wheelchairs, and it's more accessible. But other than that, like, there's a leg press machine, there's a chest press, there's a seated row, I have a cable tower, there's all the free weights, dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells. And so the gym is to kind of, like, bridge that gap between people having to go back to normal therapy for tune-ups, and hopefully we can, like, increase that time before they have to go back into, like, physical therapy to get their tune-ups.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of, like, requirement that people have to meet in order to be allowed to be a member of the gym? Like, do they have, like, a diagnosed condition, or, like...
Yeah, the only thing is that it has to be some sort of, like, neuro diagnoses. But other than that, they're, like, free to just come in. The first visit is, like, they'll sit down with me, they get to tell me a little bit about their story, and I kind of like to hear from them what their diagnosis is and what they feel like their biggest deficits are. And then from there, we just run through some baseline testing, which are just, like, movements that come up in the workouts often. So, like, looking at some sort of squat for them, some sort of deadlift, an overhead press, and then, like, an endurance test on the row erg. And then that kind of allows me to go into, like, showing them about the programming and showing them, like, when certain exercises come up, like, this is going to be their variation of that exercise.
Okay. That's really cool. That's awesome. Sounds like a lot of fun, and I think a lot of students probably that's, like, a dream job for them.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is definitely something that when I was in P2 school and I got to the Neuro course coursework. I was like, one day, like, I want to be able to, like, open up my own gym and, like, work with this population. And I didn't think it would happen until, like, my mid-30s. And then when I got out of residency, like, the opportunity just kind of presented itself. And so I, like, jumped on and became that employee, which was really cool.
That's super awesome. How long have you been doing it for?
About 2.5 years now.
And before that, you were a resident in Jacksonville, right?
Yes, at Brooks Rehab.
Brooks Rehab, yeah. And you saw a lot of, like, spinal cord and stuff there, right?
Yes.
Like, a lot of pretty heavy stuff?
Yeah, so during the residency, there were, like, 5 different rotations in the year. So one was on the spinal cord floor in the hospital, one was on the stroke floor, one was on the brain injury floor. I went to a skilled nursing facility, and then I did, like, an outpatient neuro rotation as well.
Really neat. So if anybody listening has, like, a family member or a friend or maybe themselves that have had a stroke, or, you know, maybe some of us will have a stroke one day, what is, like, some advice that you would give somebody about the rehab process? Some things you wish you could tell all patients.
Yeah, so it's a lot of hard work which goes into it, and, like, everyone's recovery is going to look different. A lot of the times it's kind of like what environment you're putting yourself in and what kind of, like, stimulus you're, like, giving to the body to try to have it be able to make those, like, neuroplastic changes to get back, like, what we want. It's something that you're just going to have to continue to try and put effort in day after day, and it's a very slow recovery process. And sometimes you are going to feel like you're going to plateau, but, like, that's the time when you just got to keep putting in the work.
Really cool. Well, I think it's really interesting, like, this type of clinic or gym or whatever you would want to call it, because, I mean, we have a lot of people, I mean, I think we both know a lot of friends, athletes that get injured and they just stop working out completely. But then here at your clinic, you have people that have had all of these, like, major injuries, like strokes and TBI, spinal cord, all of that, but they're still working out, they're still, like, working around these injuries and these limitations, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure some people would, like, come into the gym and, like, look at some of these movements that I have people doing and just be like, I cannot believe you're having them do this.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, you know, it's, yes, like, we want people to, like, improve their recovery, but the bottom line is I want these people to be, like, functional in their daily lives. And just because someone's had a stroke and half of their body doesn't work as well as the other half doesn't mean that they don't need to be able to bend down to the ground and pick up something heavy from the ground.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool to look at this population and, like, just see what they're capable of, because they're capable of, like, some pretty tough things.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it doesn't look, like, super pretty or look exactly the same as everybody else's, but it still gets the job done.
Exactly.
And that's what you got to be able to do when you get, especially as you age.
Yep.
So, really, really neat.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your sport a little bit. Tell us about your sport, because you got a pretty badass sport that you do.
Yeah, so I compete in strongman, and how did I come about this, you might ask? Well, that would be because of you, Rebecca.
Yeah,
so
I used to do that too a long time ago.
Yeah, but I remember when I moved back to Charleston, you were like, man, I think you would really enjoy this sport, Christina. You're, like, picking up rocks and, like, pressing logs, so, like, you should try it sometime. And I did it one day with you, and then the rest is history. Now she's really good at it and competing at the world level. So tell us about Worlds last year. Yeah, so last year I got to go to Ireland and compete in natural strongman worlds.
So no steroids.
Yeah, for that, like, federation of strongman. But it was really cool, and there were, like, 12 girls who were competing in my weight class, and I came in 6th, so that was just, like, a really fun time.
Yeah. How's Ireland?
Ireland was awesome. It's so beautiful over there.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone says that, you know, oh, it's just so green, but, like, it really is just green. It rains all the time, but it's just beautiful.
I feel like it rains all the time here, too.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But it's definitely prettier over in Ireland.
And what competition are you getting ready for right now?
I'm getting ready for OSG regionals, which will be down in Florida. So trying to qualify for another Worlds.
Yeah, and that's just in a few weeks, right?
Yeah, it's in, like, 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Are you ready?
You know what? We're gonna go out there and have some fun, and whatever happens, happens.
What are the events for this upcoming one?
This upcoming one is an axle clean and press at 155, so max reps in a minute.
Okay.
There's a deadlift.
And an axle bar is like the axle that runs under your train or your truck or whatever.
Yeah. It's just this really thick bar.
Really thick bar, yeah.
Really thick bar. Doesn't have much give to it at all. The next event is a deadlift ladder. So there's like 3 different bars, and it's 300, 325, and then 350 for max reps in a minute. There's a yoke run at 450 for like 50 feet. I have farmer carries, 175 a hand, and then there's a keg load, 175 for as many reps as you can.
Very cool. Which one are you most nervous for?
Definitely overhead press, because my overhead is always my weakest, but we work on it.
Yeah, overhead's hard.
So.
And where do you train at?
I train out of Palmetto Pump House in North Charleston. So they have all the strongman equipment there, and then there's a group of us that kind of train out of there together. Yeah,
pretty cool spot. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I used to do it with him, and just Palmetto Pump House was a little far for me, but I definitely miss it. It's a lot of fun.
We miss you.
So what about running?
Running?
Yeah.
What is that?
Remember when you did a half marathon a couple years ago?
Oh yeah, I did a half marathon when I was in residency.
Yeah.
So
do you ever think you might go back to that?
Probably not,
Maybe you do some high rocks or something?
Yeah. I'm getting talked into more endurance-y sports because of like the friends I have in my life.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think there's something special coming up in October, right?
Yeah, there is.
What is that?
I don't know. If it is for the coast qualifiers that I am now partnered with you for.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a blast. So we're planning on doing the qualifiers for that, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. So Christina is gonna be a CrossFitter, whether she likes it or not.
Maybe one day.
She'll probably be very naturally gifted at CrossFit, so as well as strongman.
So we'll see.
And what's your favorite strongman event?
Ooh, I like a lot of the moving events. So
like yoke?
Meaning yoke or farmers. Or like sandbags. I also like loading events too, though. So like the keg load. I'm just like that. Those are just the ones I'm like more efficient at in strongman. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, of course.
How can people donate to Next if they want to?
There's like QR code on like the website. So if you just type in like MUSC Next Wellness Center, that page will pop up, and
I'll put it in the description.
Sure. Yeah. There's like a little link that you can donate there. And then for anyone listening, if you have someone or you yourself would like to get access to this gym, you can always email me at Miyares, so MIYARES at musc.edu, and ask about like getting in for your first visit.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, Christina. You were awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks so much for listening to the Rest Between Sets, and thanks so much, Christina, for coming on the podcast. If you know anyone that could benefit from what she does, please reach out and have a fantastic weekend.